Wealth isn't always about flashy cars and designer clothes. I found that people who are truly financially secure often don't feel the need to flaunt their wealth. In fact, it can be quite the opposite. Those who are financially well off often display behaviors and habits that might surprise you. They don't necessarily live in mansions or take luxury vacations. Their wealth is visible in subtler ways. In this podcast, I'm going to share with you 7 signs that a person is financially well off, even if they don't act rich. These are traits I've noticed in those who know how to manage their money effectively, making the most out of their financial resources and living comfortably without being extravagant. In other words, we're talking about those who have mastered the art of financial literacy and wealth management. Ready to discover these surprising signs? Let's dive in. 1. They live within their means. True wealth doesn't mean owning the most extravagant items or living a lavish lifestyle. Contrary to popular belief, people who are financially well off often live quite modestly. Have you ever noticed someone who always seems to be at peace, never fretting about the next paycheck or upcoming bills? That's a sure sign of financial stability. Financially secure individuals know the value of living within their means. They understand that excessive spending can lead to financial instability, and they do not let societal pressure dictate their lifestyle. Instead of keeping up with the Joneses, they prioritize their financial goals and make conscious decisions about where their money goes. They are more likely to invest in assets that appreciate over time rather than depreciate the moment they're purchased. They might not have the latest iPhone, the biggest house, or the newest car on the block, but what they do have is a solid financial foundation. And that, my friends, is true wealth. Next time you're around someone who seems to live a modest lifestyle despite having a good income, remember, they might just be richer than you think. 2. They aren't burdened by debt. Here's a little personal story of mine. A couple of years ago, I ran into an old friend at a coffee shop. Despite knowing that he had a high-paying job, I noticed he was driving a modest car and lived in a small apartment. Intrigued, I asked him why he wasn't living a more luxurious lifestyle. His answer surprised me. He simply said, "I hate debt." He went on to explain that he had paid off his student loans, had no credit card debt, and was even making extra payments on his mortgage to own his apartment sooner. He could have easily afforded a high-end car or a bigger house, but he chose to live comfortably within his means and prioritize becoming debt-free. This conversation was an eye-opener for me. It made me realize that being financially well off isn't about how much you earn but how much you keep. And one of the best ways to keep more of your money is by avoiding debt. Remember, folks, someone who lives without the constant worry of debt is likely doing better than those living paycheck to paycheck, regardless of how rich they may appear. 3. They have multiple streams of income. Financially well-off individuals often don't rely on a single source of income. While having a steady job is great, it's just one part of the wealth-building puzzle. Consider this. The average millionaire has 7 streams of income. This could include salary, rental income, dividends from investments, side businesses, and more. Having multiple sources of income provides financial security. If one stream dries up, they're not left high and dry because they have others to fall back on. If you come across someone who has several income-generating ventures, despite working a regular 9-to-5 job, they might be more financially secure than you think. Diversifying income is a key strategy in wealth accumulation, and it's a sign of financial well-being. 4. They prioritize saving and investing. You know who understands the value of a dollar? People who are financially well off. They're often the ones religiously contributing to their retirement accounts, setting aside a portion of their income for savings, and making wise investment choices. They understand that the key to growing wealth is to make their money work for them. Instead of spending their entire paycheck, they are committed to saving and investing a portion of it, no matter how small. They recognize that every little bit counts and can lead to significant growth over time due to the power of compound interest. If you see someone consistently saving and investing, even when it means giving up immediate pleasures, chances are they're on a solid financial footing. This discipline and foresight are hallmarks of financial wellness. 5. They're not afraid to say no. A few years back, I was invited to an extravagant weekend getaway with a group of friends. The cost was steep and it was tempting to join in on the fun. But after a quick glance at my budget, I realized it would derail my financial goals. So, I made the tough decision to decline. Being financially well off often requires the ability to say no to certain things, even when it's not the most popular choice. It's about making decisions today that your future self will thank you for. People who are good with money understand that they can't have it all. They're comfortable declining an invitation if it doesn't align with their budget or financial goals. The next time you meet someone who seems unafraid to turn down a costly event or purchase because it doesn't fit into their financial plan, don't mistake it for being tight-fisted. It's likely a sign of financial prudence and wealth. 6. They have a long-term financial plan. Financially well-off individuals don't leave their finances to chance. They don't just think about today or tomorrow, but years and even decades into the future. They have a clear understanding of where they want to be financially, and they've mapped out a plan to get there. Whether it's investing in stocks, buying real estate, or starting their own business, every financial decision is a calculated move towards achieving their long-term goals. If you know someone who seems to have a handle on their future finances, who talks about their retirement plans with confidence, or who always seems to be strategizing about their next financial move, take note. This forward-thinking approach is a common trait among the financially secure. It's not about being lucky. It's about being prepared. 7. They value experiences over material possessions. One of the most telling signs of real wealth isn't what people have, but how they choose to spend their time and money. People who are financially well off often value experiences over material possessions. They'd rather invest in travel, learning, or spending quality time with loved ones than in the latest gadget or luxury car. This is because they understand that experiences contribute more to personal growth and happiness than material items ever could. They know that memories last a lifetime, while the appeal of physical possessions often fades with time. If you encounter someone who seems to prefer creating meaningful experiences over amassing material wealth, don't be quick to dismiss their financial status. They might be more well off than you think. Final thoughts. It's about choices. As we delve into the world of finance, we uncover a fundamental truth. Being financially well off isn't so much about how much you earn, but about the choices you make with what you have. It's about choosing to live within your means, rejecting the weight of debt, and embracing multiple streams of income. It's about prioritizing saving and investing, having the courage to say no, and the foresight to plan for the long term. And it's about valuing experiences over material possessions. Next time you see someone shunning flashy displays of wealth, remember, they may be making financial choices that are building their wealth quietly and steadily. Financial well-being is less about outward appearances and more about inner financial health and stability. Keep this in mind as you navigate your own financial journey. After all, true wealth is not just about having money. It's about having choices. Wealth isn't always about flashy cars and